So people of the Arrowverse, if you were a fan of the mid-season finale's reveal of the new Copycat Green Arrow being Oliver's sister, it looks like for the next episode coming in January, Oliver is going to be getting a lot closer to finding out who she is. So let's break down the trailer for Arrow Season 7, Episode 10, Shattered Lives. What is up, Vigilantes? Welcome to a brand new Arrow Season 7 video. Of course, this is a trailer breakdown for the next episode of Arrow, where we see Oliver getting a lot closer to finding out who this new mysterious vigilante is. Although us, the audience, may know who it is, and it seems Renee, we need to know what Oliver's reaction is going to be like. So, of course, let's, without further ado, play the trailer.
Game time, rookie. You ready? This is the best lead we've had on finding out who's under that hood.
Their mystery man is actually a woman.
Wow, really? If Oliver Queen knew anything, is that you can't save the city alone.
I'm not Oliver Queen.
Arrow. New episodes return Monday, January 21st on the CW.
So of course, guys, previously in Arrow Season 7, we have had a new mysterious archer out in Star City whilst Oliver was, kind of rotting away in Slabside. But now that story is more or less at an end. So for example, Oliver is out of Slabside. He's even operating as the Green Arrow as a part of the SCPD, which is pretty crazy. We've got a cop Arrow going around. But this also means that Oliver is probably pretty fascinated as to who this new copycat archer is going around, and who are they exactly, and why are they even going around as the Green Arrow. Now, he hasn't figured that out yet, but the audience members were revealed at the end of the mid-season finale, not obviously the Elseworlds episode, where Emiko Queen was seen outside a burnt down Queen Mansion, and we saw her kneeling down by Robert Queen's grave, which obviously told all of the fans that she is Oliver's half-sister. Now, I believe the original title for that episode gave away the name as well. It was originally titled something like My Name is Emiko Queen. Now, that hasn't officially been spelled out by fans, but yeah, you can safely assume that her name is probably Emiko Queen. So in this new trailer, guys, that gives us our first preview for next season, which some are thankful for, but also some are viewing as kind of cruel, because now we have to wait for Arrow to return for a little bit of a while over the Christmas break. But either way, I'm thankful. I love getting excited and anticipating the new second half of the season. But anyway, in the first part of the trailer, we see Oliver walking in with Dinah at some kind of location, I'm guessing, where the copycat Green Arrow has left some kind of evidence, because as Dinah says, this is the best lead we've got as to finding out who is under that hood. And that is what this is all about, guys. That is what mainly I want to discuss in this video. Like, what is Oliver's reaction going to be like when he eventually finds out that is none other than a sister he never knew even existed? It's also just super weird to remind ourselves that not only does Star City know that their mayor was, the Green Arrow, now we have that guy out of prison. Everyone knows he was a vigilante. He was the mayor, and now he's wandering around, walking all over the police's crime scene. It's just crazy that he's allowed to do that. I'm still kind of coming to terms with the fact that the plot has just made him a cop now. I mean, I get it, it makes sense, but for me, it still feels a little bit like, what? Or even if he's not a cop, whatever, like some kind of consultant, like, okay. Now, what is this best lead that Dinah has got in that evidence bag that you may be wondering about? Well, in this scene, we see Oliver looking at a broken window, or at least some shards still stuck to the side of the wood there, and we see none other than blood, and that blood is probably safe to assume that it is the copycat Green Arrows, none other than Emiko Queen's. So what we also see in this trailer, guys, is that Felicity is looking at some kind of DNA pattern sequence. We see it says DNA sample there, and it seems that there is a couple of DNA samples. Now, I'm not going to go straight ahead and say, oh yeah, that other one is Oliver's, because it's like, why would they even bother making that comparison? So I'm guessing that Felicity is just running a DNA sample or blood pattern sample on the blood that they got off the glass, and as she said herself, this isn't a copycat Green Arrow man or whatever, it is a female. And Oliver is very surprised about this, and he's even like, wow, really? So I'm really intrigued as to, I mean, they definitely have the ability here to match that blood up against Oliver's. The question is, why would that even pop up? So I'm thinking the only way that might pop up is if Felicity just keeps running some random background checks on the DNA sample. Maybe it might run some tests that she just automated and wouldn't have even thought to run against Oliver, but that just is within the directory anyway, for example, and it pops up. I think that's quite wishful thinking though, so I wouldn't necessarily expect a blood match to that of Oliver Queen reveal in this episode. Just quite simply because why would they make that comparison unless the computer just runs those diagnostics or, tests anyway. Now, throughout this trailer as well, we see certain scenes of Emiko Queen looking badass, or just, it seems maybe in her apartment or wherever she was when she was doing that training at the same time in this trailer when Oliver and everyone else is looking into the identity of this copycat archer. So right here, we see her kicking ass of these criminals. And of course, here we see her kind of suiting up as the copycat archer again and just kind of like admiring the bow and the badassery of, I guess, if you dressed up as a vigilante. Because I think we all would kind of look at ourselves and think, damn. Anyway, moving on, we see Wild Dog talking to the copycat archer, and this seems it could be in Wild Dog's apartment that she's met him there rather than hers. It does kind of remind me of Wild Dog's apartment. Now, what Wild Dog is saying here is that if there's one thing kind of Oliver Queen knows is that you can't save the city alone. Now, he's just referencing to plenty of times in the past where Oliver has kind of gone on a self-pity kind of mood or something like that, where he kind of thinks, in order to save my friends or to not get them involved, I can save the city by myself, blah, blah, blah. But, over the couple of times we've had that storyline in the past, he's come to realize, no, he does need help. He does need his teammates. And I think Wild Dog is just trying to potentially say that to the copycat Green Arrow here, or Emiko Queen, if you will, and just say, look, come out to us in the open and maybe even join our team. You can't save this city alone. And that is when she even gets angered by that, kind of pretty simple advice of Wild Dog's, probably because she's kind of getting compared to Oliver Queen in a way, or just saying you should be like Oliver Queen through maybe taking the advice and not saving the city by yourself. And that's when she's like, I am nothing like Oliver Queen. And when she says that, she seems kind of a little bit pissed off. So, there could be a whole multitude of explanations as to why that is. She might not agree with Oliver Queen abandoning, I don't know, her father's list. She may not agree with Oliver Queen's methods as the Green Arrow. She may not have even liked Oliver Queen growing up because he grew up a privileged life in the Queen Mansion, for example, and she, as the outcast child potentially of Robert Queen, I'm sure he gave the family money or whatever storyline Arrow are going to go with Emiko Queen here. She would have lived quite the different life. So it is definitely intriguing in so many ways. I think it's fairly predictable that in the future, regardless, this will be sorted out and she will kind of be friendly or somewhat friendly with Oliver and even become potentially Speedy in Team Arrow or something like that. But we have to get through all of this. Oh, I've never met you sibling drama, disagreements of how to do the mission as the Green Arrow, all kinds of things in the season ahead. Now, if you're wondering why Wild Dog is even talking to Emiko Queen here, you just have to put that down with the fact that he's had this relationship this whole season really with the copycat Green Arrow, and if there's anyone she probably trusts from Team Arrow, that is Wild Dog. So potentially Wild Dog on behalf of Oliver, or maybe it is by his own doing, summoned or texted, or he's got her number, the copycat Green Arrow, Emiko Queen here, for a meetup. Potentially is by himself though, because she would probably think it's a trap like last time, or at least that Oliver and someone else would come along when a meeting is probably, by her request, just meant to be alone. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think of this trailer. Do you think we're actually going to get the reveal to Oliver that it is his sister this episode? I personally don't think we will, or even if we did, I don't think we should right now, just because it wouldn't make really much sense. I think they are going to drag it out a little bit. I definitely think that the sister reveal just would be kind of random if it was just done through that blood sample. Then again, as I said, it maybe could be brought up for a random test that Felicity did just for the sake of it, but that would be kind of hard to believe. I think that they're going to play it out for a couple more episodes at least until they reveal it, but in the meantime, just giving us a few threads, if you will, as to, oh, that's not a man, that's a woman through the blood sample. What's the next step? Okay, we'll do that in the next episode or the episode after that, and then maybe a couple more episodes after that, we might get the reveal as to the identity with the fact that she's related to Oliver Queen as, Robert Queen's daughter. But, you know, we're gonna have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, that is it for Arrow until January 21st now. So that's our footage until then. Of course, stay subscribed or subscribe to the channel for more Arrow updates on anything that may or may not come out between now and when it's returning January 21st. Of course, there will be bonus videos and things like that over the Christmas break. So if you did enjoy this video, everyone, of course, leave a like on it as well, as I really appreciate that support for the channel. And of course, if you want to follow me on social media or anything, links, as always, are in the description down below. But thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you vigilantes in the next video. Goodbye.